Whenever you're ready, Anne.
Welcome, everyone, to the Thursday evening spiritual practices at Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Anne Radford, and I use she, her pronouns. Tonight, we have Woody Moore sharing his spiritual practice ritual with us. Thank you, Woody.
You're welcome.
Now get yourselves comfortable and relax. Become aware of our bodies. Let's take a breath together, even as we are physically apart. Our chalice lighting words this evening are by Maureen Killeran. Let us look first to the response of love. In these hard times, let us look first to the response of love. In the midst of challenge, may our chalice flame bear witness to the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. In the midst of uncertainty, may our chalice be a beacon of encouragement that our values may guide our choices. Let us look first to the response of love. Woody?
Thanks, Anne. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I feel honored to see all the people here. I hope I'm providing something of value for everybody. It is my practice, and I like to make the point that I have developed this over a period of about 20 to 25 years, and it continues to change fairly frequently. Like within the last week, there's been at least one change to it. Most of these changes are details, but just so you know, and so I won't say anymore. I'll just do it. So what I want to do is do the practice as I do it for myself. I understand you're all here, so I will be thinking of you, and I might explain something very briefly in the middle, but we will have questions, open questions afterwards. So I'll just go through it for now. So I do this at least once every day. I'll repeat that a couple of times during the practice too. So I begin with a few words that are designed to prepare myself to do my practice. I want to make sure that I'm in the right space for doing it when I do it. So it begins with breathing, loving, conscious contact. And then I look to see if gratitude and reverence are present. Because if I am making conscious contact in the way I perceive the world, being present to it, I am grateful and reverent just getting to be here. And so that shows up. If I'm not present to gratitude and reverence, then I need to keep breathing and loving until I get there. That's sort of the way that works. Anyway, so gratitude and reverence. And then I like to notice that joy shows up all over the place when gratitude and reverence are there. And then intention and focus. Who I am is this chooser, and I choose love first and foremost. And I choose to be this human. And as this human, I choose who I am, what I do, and what I create. Consciously, intentionally, intelligently, hopefully, to the extent I have a say in the matter. And I choose to be in a direct, conscious relationship with these choices all of the time, even when my say in the matter seems to get muddied. It is toward this end that I do this practice at least once every day. And this practice is a manifestation of my commitment to learn what is here for me to learn with regard to being this human. And with regard to being this human, choosing who I am, I choose to be love first and foremost. I choose to be present to and participating in the miraculous. I choose to be mindful, honest, conscious, intentional, intelligent, joyous, loving, brave, open, interested, seeking, observant, playful, magical. I choose to be competent and confident and patient and thorough, grateful, reverent, humble. And I choose to be responsible, especially with regard to choosing what I do and choosing what I create. I choose to do what is here for me to do moment by moment, inside of commitments over time. In this particular moment, I choose to do this practice exceedingly well, inside of a commitment over time to do this practice exceedingly well, at least once every day. And I choose to create what is here for me to create moment by moment inside of commitments over time. In this particular moment, I choose to create being present to and participating in the miraculous. And over time, I choose to create me, being who I say I am, doing as I say I will, creating as I intend. Love, first and foremost, for everybody, everywhere, all of the time. It's just like gravity. Specifically, complete unconditional love for myself as I am here and now. Complete unconditional love for all of these others that I experience as they are here and now, as you are here and now. Complete unconditional love for my species as a whole, as we are all together here and now. Complete unconditional love for this magnificent, miraculous planet and all of the life it bears. And complete unconditional love, humble acknowledgement, profound gratitude and reverence in relation to this miraculous creation process that makes this possible, that gives me being. Having said these things, I declare I am complete with this doing of this practice this time. And I now open this up to questions. I'm not quite sure how to manage it. I assume Joe can manage it, or Michael, or whatever. I can't see the whole screen. So, but if you hold up your hand or you put something in the chat, I can watch the chat box. But if you hold up your hand, hopefully we'll see you and can call on you. So, questions?
Woody, this is Josie. I'm wondering if when you are by yourself, if you say all of this aloud, or if it's internal, if you just quiet.
Usually I say it aloud. I think it has more value to me when I hear the words as well. If I'm in a place where it seems inappropriate to be saying it aloud and doing it, I'll do it quietly, but yeah, I try to do it aloud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Woody, this is Nancy.
Go
I'm
ahead.
wondering what brought you to this practice 23 some years ago.
Well, I'd say the main thing that brought me to it is there is a specific source, which is I took a course from an organization called Landmark Education. Some of you may be familiar with them. The course was called Creating Oneself. And it actually involved making up some way to speak yourself into being, I think is the way they would say it. I think I took it a little more seriously than most people, whatever. I really liked it. And I didn't actually start doing my practice right at that point in time. I started doing a little thing that I did then for a while. And then I got back into it because part of it is I want to, on a daily basis, there are a certain number of things I want to make sure I'm checking in on, I'm remembering. And the easiest way to do it for me, when I thought about it, I did a lot of things. I made lists, and sometimes I'd read it, sometimes I wouldn't, and so forth. And this one, because I essentially memorize it, I know it by heart, and I can change it randomly as I wish or whatever. But it gives me a powerful sense of being, and it reminds me daily that I am responsible for creating myself. It reminds me daily that if none of this happens just automatically, I mean, some of it, that's not entirely true. Some of it does, because I've been doing it for so long, so repetitively, but it really, I can't tell you how many days when I get to that point where I say, who I am is this chooser, it's like suddenly a whole mass of stuff just kind of sheds off my shoulders or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, all I am is this chooser. That's all that I am here. And then I can start from there, and it gives me a sense of freedom. And it also reminds me of the importance of what I'm making up. Is another way to say, I call it creation because it's a nicer word, but what I create is essentially what I'm making up about the world. So yeah, I'm creating that this is a miraculous world, that I get to be present to, and that I participate in the miracle. I mean, that's my part in it, is my creation. So yeah, I see Connie.
Hi, Woody.
Ah.
So I'm wondering, as you are saying this out loud, it's a beautiful prayer, do you stop for long periods of silence, or pause while you come in contact with the things that you mentioned, like gratitude?
Yes, yes. It almost never goes as quickly as the way I presented it here. When I do it by myself, I often will stop and consider, and even sit down and write something about various aspects of it as I go through it. So yeah, and it changes from day to day what occurs as most important.
Woody, Gary Worthington here.
Gary.
Yeah, certainly agree with the miraculousness of everything, but I confess I have a really hard time with the unconditional love for everything and everybody. Yeah, I just I see so much. Well, I have to use the term evil in some cases in the world. And, I would love to just be a more loving person and have this unconditional love for everybody, but I personally just have a really hard time with it when I see people who are creating so much havoc and evil and hurt in the world. And I just wonder if you could talk about that a little bit, what the unconditional love means to you and how you deal with. Well, take for example a dictator who imprisons and tortures and kills his own people. Just to take one example.
And thanks for the question. That's a really excellent question, and I've struggled with this myself for many years. I keep reminding myself it is a practice. I'm practicing loving people. I'm not necessarily perfect at it, and I'm pretty sure I'll never be perfect at it as this human. But I have taken on the challenge fairly seriously for myself. And so it goes to a number of things, like you say, so a specific person. I mean, for 4 years there, Donald Trump came to mind every day for me. So it was, to me, quite a challenge to get to the point where I could love Donald and see him as a terribly troubled human, caught up in whatever he's caught up in without trying to analyze it in depth, and just love him for just because, no reason. And that's to me, when you talk about unconditional love, you can't get into reasons. There is no reason. It's just yeah, it's just okay, love. And part of it is that I see, so the inclusion of loving our species, my species as a whole, is seeing our species as a living entity in and of itself. And our species is in its adolescence or whatever it is, you can make it up how you determine that. It's not well defined. And we're going through our acting out period and our whatever as a species. I hope we survive ourselves. I can't tell right now whether we're going to or not, but yeah. Does that answer the question, or do you have further?
No, I think you addressed it well, and I think I do see what you're saying. Yeah, the challenge, of course, is
Right.
putting it into practice, as you said. So thanks very much. I really appreciate it, Woody.
Thanks for asking, really. Susan Kirkpatrick, you might be muted.
Oh, am I muted? Can
Yeah.
you hear me now? No?
I can hear you, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm using my old computer. I have a new one, but I haven't set it up to Zoom. So I have a problem with this unconditional love of people who hurt other people. And your answer was intriguing to me. It's not like you're saying that what they're doing is okay. And you can acknowledge, like you did with Trump, that he's a troubled man who so it's not approval and it's not being naive. And I guess maybe seeing the humanity in another person. We all have a piece of it, some more than others. But yeah, so to me, it's not that, woohoo, let's love everyone, da, da, da. And I don't think that's what you mean, Woody, at all. But maybe an honest kind of love.
A what?
An honest, or realistic, or can you hear me okay? No? Can you hear?
I can hear you, but I'm not following exactly.
Oh, okay. So I guess unconditional love can be honest. You don't have to pretend that person is better than they are.
Right.
So you know, it's not, you don't have to be an idiot about it. And you know what I mean? And just say, I don't know, I'm wrestling with it. I don't have any great answers and I don't have a specific question, but I think it's a tough one. I think it's really tough. I just read a book about 3 sisters in concentration camps and what happened to them. And, you know, it's like, it's a stretch. It's a stretch to love some people. I guess that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I keep saying, I am practicing. I am practicing to the best of my ability. Thank you, Susan. Anybody else?
So Woody,
Yeah, Riley.
so if this is a daily practice, but do you do it at different times of the day, or do you have a, you know, every morning or something, or is it something you can do while you're walking,
Yeah.
driving through the woods or whatever?
Yes. Thanks. Thanks, Riley. Yeah, I do it. So on Sundays, when there's going to be a service, I actually make a point of getting up early enough so that I can complete my practice before the service starts. But most days I don't try to do it in the morning. I do it usually kind of midday. And I do it usually walking in my room, in my house here. I just pace back and forth while I'm doing it. I have mirrors all over the place. I kind of like mirrors, so I'll walk up and look at myself in the mirror while doing my practice. And I also do it driving. I've considered driving to be a meditative thing for me for many years. And so I will, I have a kind of a daily drive. I don't actually do it every day. And I do a thing, I see we're running out of time or close to it here, but I do want to say, so I do this drive every day and I call it my love delivery route. So I drive, it's the same route. I take it every day. Well, it's pretty much the same. I drive up to the Hood Canal, which was 13 miles north of me from here. And I drive along the highway there along the Hood Canal out to Tuano State Park, delivering love. So I'm driving along thinking loving thoughts, intentionally doing whatever I think might cause radiating love to go out into the air around me and to all of the houses around me and all of the cars on the road and all that sort of thing. But part of what I do on that drive typically is I'll do my practice first, usually, or early in the drive, and then do that. So I think we still have time for like one more question if there's another one. And if there isn't, we can also, oh, yeah, Susan, go ahead.
It's kind of personal, probably, so you don't have to answer. I recall your granddaughter
I
struggled.
can't hear.
Can you hear now?
Yes.
Okay. As I recall, your granddaughter struggles with some issues, and so it must break your heart in one way, but I'm sure you're sending her love at the same time. So I don't want to get personal, but I thought, well, how best to do that when it's someone you love dearly and they're struggling. You have a particular way of addressing that?
Well, not really. I send her lots of love, intentionally. I think about her and send her love. She's actually doing better right now.
Right.
Interestingly enough, she's in jail. That might not sound like doing better, but for her, and she accepts that it's right for her at this point in time. It's gotten her off the drugs. She's clean. She's been in jail for over a month, and she'll be in jail for at least another month. And there are no drugs in this jail, strangely enough. she happens to be, and she's doing well with that. So, but it is a stretch, and it's ongoing with others in my life that there's some distance of one form or another. Yeah. So, not wanting to run overtime, so I think I'll hand this back to Anne for the closing and the extinguishing of the chalice. And thank you all for being here. Love to all. Love to all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Woody.
Thanks, Nancy.
And thank you, Woody, and love back to you. Thank you so much for sharing your practice of love. We close by extinguishing our chalice with these words by John Morgan. In the end, it won't matter how much we have, but how generously we've given. It won't matter how much we know, but rather how well we live. And it won't matter how much we believe, but how deeply we love. Thank you all for being here this evening.
And I noticed that my email got put up in the chat. Thanks, Joe or Michael, whoever did that. Feel free to send me an email if you have further questions. I'm always happy to answer.
Okay.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.